Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jacqui-Leigh. Today on Tarot Whispers, we're going to be looking at the Death card. So as you can see on the Death card, we have, what do you call him? Death, anyways. Coming towards them on a horse. You've got sort of people begging on their knees. You've got somebody here lying, probably has passed away. And you can kind of see the sun is sort of past these two towers. Oh, maybe you can't see on this card, but there's two towers right here, and the sun's sort of on the other side of the towers. And so everybody's always afraid of the death card, right? You can see it in popular movies, and it's like, oh, the death card comes out. Oh no, somebody's going to die, right? That's why the death card's coming out. And that isn't, death has really nothing to do with the death card. Now, it can be, right? It could be that, that somebody has passed away, and that's why sort of you're getting that death card, but that's not generally. So the death card sort of represents a complete ending, right? But it's also about transformation and renewal. So it's something has completely ended. So something that would be sort of represented in the death card would be a divorce. So your divorce completely severed that marriage. That ended the marriage. It was a complete ending. It's not, I'm kind of married, I'm kind of divorced. No, no. I got divorced. The marriage is over. That is the death of the marriage. However, that allows you to then have that renewal or that transformation, right? So maybe it was a bad relationship. So the relationship ends, and now I am on this healing journey. I'm transforming myself. I'm changing. I'm moving on to brighter times. And so that's really what the death is. Death card represents something coming to a complete close, something completely ending. It could even be something like you're graduating from school, right? That would be an ending. So the death card could come out for something like that, where it's not a negative. It's school has ended, I have graduated, and now I'm moving into the rest of my life. I'm moving into my adulthood. I'm moving into my career. I'm moving into having children and getting married. Those type of things. My childhood is gone. That's in the past. My being able to just be carefree and do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted, that's now ending, and I'm moving on to a life of having to do and having responsibilities. So I will pull out my board, and we'll see what Spirit would like to tell us about the death card here. I'll get my board all lined up, and as always, I do dub over um, the automatic writing sessions because I write in silence. So if it sounds a little bit odd or weird or not quite timed right, or I'm tripping over words, that's why it's happening. So I'll get into my meditation mode and be quiet for a moment, and then we'll see what Spirit has to say about the Devil card. Or sorry, about the death card. We're not on the devil. We're on the death card. So thank you. Do not fear death. Death should not be looked at in a negative context. Death allows us to transform. When we die, we are transformed into spirit, where only love exists. Similarly, when we have a death like event in our lives, it allows us to transform into something else, something better. Death is not ominous. It is an opportunity to shed the old, shed the bad, shed what no longer serves us, and move forward. Lighter, freer, happier. There may be grieving during the event, but it is always darkest for the dawn. Death allows us to transform into something better, into something new, into the right path. Always see endings as a chance for new beginnings. The opportunities presented to you now and in the future are not possible without the death, without the ending. Remember to focus on the good. Focus on what you can control. And never forget the lessons the death taught you. For you are meant to grow and move forward. Love. All right. So again, this is spirit reading, right? We should not fear death, right? It shouldn't be looked at in a negative context, because the ending of something, the death of something, that's allowing us to transform. And as it said somewhere around here, the death, like there's opportunities currently in your life, there's opportunities that will be presented to you in the future that just weren't even possible without this ending, right? So even if it's something like going to school and now you're graduating, that's the ending, that's the death. Well, job opportunities aren't going to be available for you. Promotions aren't going to be available for you. Money is not going to be available to you if you just stayed in school forever. If you're just like, nope, I'm never going to end school, I'm just going to sit here and be a professional student, well, then other opportunities aren't opening up for you. Career paths aren't opening up for you. Investment opportunities aren't opening up for you because you are just stuck over here going to school. And so that's what this is saying, right? Even things like that are, horrible and bad, and I mean, divorce, right? That always comes to my mind. They're horrible and bad, but at the same time, it can be the best thing that ever happened to you, right? Because maybe that soulmate, that perfect sort of meshing of a person, right? Somebody where you and them just mesh together and it just works. If you never got that divorce, you're never going to find that perfect person that just meshes with you. And so we need these endings in our life. And sometimes these endings are to push us forward, right? If this didn't end, right? Say you got fired and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. And at the time it does seem so horrible. How am I going to pay my bills, and where am I going to find another job? But it may be a job that you absolutely didn't like, or even if you liked it, it wasn't headed anywhere, or, in 5 years from now, you were going to hate it and you're going to feel stagnant. But because that ended, now you're forced to find another path. Now you're forced to look for those opportunities and go out and get those opportunities that you never would have even looked for or tried to get had the death not occurred, had you not lose that job. And so the main thing here is that death is not supposed to be this ominous, that's not what that word's supposed to say, I don't know how to spell it. It's not supposed to be this ominous thing. It's supposed to be this opportunity to renew yourself, but like to change, to explore new paths, to make yourself happier, if that makes sense, right? To make your life better for yourself. Things end so that new opportunities can come in, right? What is that saying? When God closes a door, he opens a window. And that's exactly what this is, right? So when that door shuts on you and that, death moment comes in and we have this absolute ending, the windows are opening for you, even if you don't quite see it now. There are opportunities that are lining up for you that you wouldn't have had unless that ending occurred. So I hope this message helped you today. I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.